Hello guys, good evening. How are you doing? I hope that you've had a wonderful weekend and it's now on a Monday. This is the Business Plus. And now today we are hanging out with Joram. He is the CEO of Sandbox. And probably you're wondering, what is this Sandbox? Now, this is good news for the SMEs. And generally, if you have a business, hata kama unafeel kama your business is too big, your business is not too big, you still have a chance to grow your business. And if you are a business-minded person out there, you still don't have a business idea, you're just wondering, what can I do? This is the place for you. My name is Rachel Kahogu. We'll be here for the next 30 minutes. And of course, you're live on Facebook, you're live on YouTube. So send out the links and make sure you share with your people so that they can be able to benefit from these as well. As I've said, today I'm here with Joram. He is the CEO of Sandbox. So we'll be getting to know what exactly Sandbox is and why I mentioned the SMEs. I'm getting really interested with the SMEs of late. Ni kama nitajileta nikuwe wa Sandbox as well. Thank you, Joram, for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Yeah, so now that I've introduced you already, please tell us about Sandbox and what you guys do.
Okay. So Sandbox is something that we actually took quite a bit of time putting it together. First, it stems from my own journey as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I started my first business when I was actually quite young, in 2004.
Okay.
Straight out of campus, and with big dreams. But I don't think anybody had prepared me for what that journey was going to look like.
Yeah.
And so I would say in the first quite a number of years of us running the business, we struggled with a lot of very basic things because nobody had told us, what we would encounter in terms of running the business. And so down the line, when we began to learn what it takes to build a business and structure it together, we actually realized it was not complicated. It's just nobody had packaged it in a way that we could learn beforehand. And so we started to package that information and invite other entrepreneurs to come and learn from ourselves.
Okay.
And down the line, we also partnered with other specialized consultants because we realized a business has very many moving parts. So there could be the elements of where you built the product or the service and you're running that, but then beyond that, now you have to market it.
Yeah.
You have to keep the finances in the background. You have to, there's a legal aspects, there's so many things.
Yeah.
And so we would partner with specialists in those different areas. And at some point, we thought it would be amazing if all these people were under one roof so that it makes it easy for the entrepreneur to go to one location and find all the different services. And so as we were putting that idea together, we figured it was also a different business from what we were running before.
Yeah.
So we gave it a different name. And that's how we ended up coming up with the Sandbox brand. And so basically it's a one-stop shop for all the different services that an entrepreneur would need for their business. Whether they're just starting out and they need to register the business, working with a lawyer as a startup. Whether they need to outsource their accounting services, if they need to recruit, they need a HR person. If they need to market or go on to digital marketing, put in place governance. We have different experts who are entrepreneurs themselves in all those different areas I've mentioned, who can basically walk with them that journey of structuring their business.
Amazing. So that means as an SME, if I just walk into Sandbox with zero idea of what I'm supposed to do, I only have the capital and just some random idea of a business, I'll get literally everything that I need for my business to stand.
Yes, and you could either be at the beginning or even if you're a business that has been running for many years, there's always different things people are looking to do to grow to the next and next level. So, you could maybe be in one location, but you want to open different branches. So we are able to deal with a wide spectrum of businesses. And yes, if you just walk in, I think many times people can tell something is wrong with a business because they're not really getting the movement that they require, but they can't really tell what is wrong. And so yes, if they come to the Sandbox, they can be able to sit down with somebody who will just help them figure out what could be going on in their business and then help them figure out also who they could start with. Because we have so many professionals. We have about 34 today. Different types of professionals that are represented here. So there's a very wide range of help that they can get.
Okay.
But we don't advise they start, take everything at the same time. They could start in one place and then
Slowly.
go through slowly as they fix different things in their businesses.
Okay. Wonderful. And you said something as you were starting, and I'll just relate it to this. Someone said that, and I've said it way too many times from when I heard it, that when you're getting into business, it's not like any other friendship, relationship or something. When you're getting into business, you don't really know what you're getting into. You're getting yourself into. And like when I'm meeting someone and I decide I want them to be my friend, at least I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yes.
For business, we really don't know. And you say that a business has so many moving parts. So probably for someone who's running a business, and they're feeling like, hey, business haisongi, or something is just not adding up. What mostly from the people that you've worked with, from the clients that you've interacted with, what are some of the issues what are some of the major issues that pulls down a business?
So I would say there are different types of issues. Some stem from the fact that a lot of people will maybe start a business not having really thought through the product or service that they want to sell. So maybe there's no market for the product they're selling and they don't know. Or there could be something wrong with their pricing. Maybe they're underpriced and that's why they're not making enough money, and they could be doing a lot of work and they don't seem to be moving forward. Maybe they could be overpriced because they're putting their products out there and nobody is buying. And then sometimes we have compliance issues. Sometimes maybe they've not been, keeping their taxes well, so they get into trouble with their tax man. Or they look at their financials and something seems off, so maybe their accountant is not giving them the correct figures and the money is being stolen from the business. So there could be a myriad of issues. Maybe they're struggling, with their employees. They don't know how to manage people. They don't know how to motivate people or make sure they have people who are excited to work for them and produce results. So they don't know how to manage that. And so there's a whole myriad of issues that we could look at. And then sometimes the issue they are feeling is not the real issue. We have to dig a bit deeper and kind of go to the background and find out what exactly could be the problem in this particular business. So there's very many things, which is partially the problem that we have with how people view entrepreneurship, where they tend to oversimplify it and think, if you just give people capital, they'll be able to build a business and it can grow. No, there's, like I said, there's very many different parts that you need to put into your business. So we help, disaggregate all those issues and just try and find what the real issues are and how to unravel them. Then our experts can always work with them. If they need to outsource those things to them, they can do that.
Okay. Now let's narrow down to Sandbox. You've told me that you have around 34, 35 companies under one roof.
Yes.
Mostly dealing with just one company is such an issue.
Yes.
Now that we're talking to you today, how are you able to just manage all those companies under one umbrella, under Sandbox?
Yes. So one of the things we do is they don't change their brand. They maintain the name of their company and how they work at Sandbox. Yes.
That's not even harder.
No, I think it's good for people to know that they're actually dealing with a company that is a specialist in the area that they are. What we just ensure they do is, just mention that they are a member of the Sandbox. And that gives some confidence to the customers that yes, since they are part of this brand that we know, these are people we can trust. And so, yes, it's definitely not easy. All the 30 something have different cultures. They also come from different backgrounds because this is probably the only setting where you find people with legal and accounting backgrounds sitting alongside people with marketing, creative backgrounds and the like. So they are very different cultures. But what we try and do overall as a Sandbox is to see how we can harmonize how they work together, because all these different things they do are very important. And so we try and see how do we build a community out of them. How do they get to understand and appreciate what each and every other person does under the Sandbox? How do they consume those services themselves so they feel the impact of that service on themselves and when they're referring their customer to take up that service. It's something that they can do with conviction because they've actually experienced it themselves. So we have a lot of internal activities to build the community. We have a lot of social gatherings or professional ones that we do together as a community. And in those interactions, they get to know each other, they get to understand the value of the different services. And then you find they refer quite a bit of business amongst themselves.
Yes. Now I'm getting why you are calling it the village formula.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's where people from different backgrounds come together and actually work together. But I also want to know, because we've seen companies that offer more than one service. Probably I'm a marketing company, I have a marketing company, but also ukikuja na issue ya tax naweza kusort, you know. So a company that offers so many things under one umbrella. So would I just come with such? So I'm a marketing company, but if you want to issue accounting, we can talk about that and how will we not conflict with the other
people? Yeah, so we make sure that that we only take one company for each profession. So if you're going to do accounting and bookkeeping, that's the only one you're going to focus on at the Sandbox. If you're going to do marketing, that's the one you focus on. And that's because in our experience, you get much better quality of service from people who are very specialized in what it is that they're doing. And they're able to also serve you a lot faster because this is something they do a lot and they're doing with a lot of customers. So they become really, really good at what it is that they do. So we are very insistent on ensuring that they are very focused, but we only take one of each so that you don't have a competitor internally and you don't have to fear that you're going to lose your business to somebody else or the Sandbox. So that's part of the formula. That's what makes the formula work because it's people who they can serve your customers, but they're not going to take the customer away from you because they're not taking away the service that you offer that particular customer.
Wow, amazing. So it's a very interesting conversation you're having here. And I think it's now the first company that I am getting to see that offers very many services under one umbrella and it's still working and growing. This is to tell you that whatever company you want to open, whatever business you want to do, it's all in the mind. As long as you have the right strategy to do it, then you can do it. Let's get to a very short break so that you can have the Business 101. And in the Business 101, the business tips, we will be talking to Catherine, who is the client service and marketing person. So we'll go to for that very short break so that you can get the tips, and then we'll be coming right back.
My name is Catherine Kabaki and I work at Sandbox International. I'm the client service manager and marketing manager at Sandbox. What I would say is that being in client service, we have a lot of people who walk in, who send us emails, and they usually have the same concerns as an entrepreneur. Our experience is that somebody coming in from business either used to work in a corporate in another company and now they've decided to venture out, or it is somebody who knows I have a really good product and I'm ready to put it out to market. So what we usually do here is that when we come in, we'll assess you and we'll say what you need as an entrepreneur is to actually just figure out what are you selling. What is it that you're providing, whether it's a product, whether it's a service. You'll have people tell you in jargon that is your value proposition. But basically, it's just, what am I doing? And why do they care? Why does the person care about what I have to offer? Because when you're clear with that, then you're able to push that. That's the first step. The second thing I would say is that you read the market. So if you have an expertise in marketing or client service like myself, I need to be able to read the market and say, what I've come to offer, is the client receiving it the way that I want to offer it? Listen to them because they're the ones with a need. So be able to adjust what your offering is. Just be able to be open to hear what the client has to say. I think the other thing is people keep talking about pipeline. You'll hear people talk about what's in the pipeline. A lot of people don't pay attention to how important it is to keep the customer that you have. We all know businesses who, will say, I have followed this person for the last 20 years. If they change jobs, they change where they're going, the client follows them. And so instead of having to go and harvest new markets, go and look for new clients, I think what we've come to learn is the people who you're with, the person who you're interacting with, you have a lot more power. So you can just make sure that you listen to them, you understand their needs, take the feedback, and keep them within your business that you're giving out. One other thing I would like to say is that we know entrepreneurs are very overwhelmed, and so they then start to say, do I start my books? Is it my people? How many people do I need to hire? Do I need an operations person? And what I would say is that exactly where you are is the right place. And if you look at everything that you need to do, start with one step, because one step at a time you'll be able to solve it. If you have a business, again, let me go back to you're in marketing or client service, you know what your product is, and you know that one of the things you don't have oversight is your bookkeeping. Let's start there. Somebody will come and tell you, do you have a strategy? Simplify it for yourself. Simplify it and say, what's my plan for this year? I know the strategists will come back and say it's not that simple, but sometimes for an entrepreneur, it actually is. You will grow as you grow. So you start off with, what is my plan for the year? If I have a team member, how do I tell them what our plan is? If I have a client, how do I communicate that plan? It's just taking one step at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed. And I think a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of support. There's organizations like Sandbox. There's organizations that have free content. There's organizations that are welcoming you to come in and listen to what you need to do. There's competitions out there that will give you some grant money, that will give you support, that will equip you to run your business. So always be on the lookout for what is out there and how you can get support at the various levels of engagement that is available. So you'll find free content, you'll find content at 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. And once you know, you're able to plan yourself and make sure that you grow and grow your business in the process. My name is Catherine Kabaki. I am the Marketing and Client Service Manager at Sandbox, and you're watching Business Plus.
We are back after the Business 101, and as we said before, we are live on Facebook, you're live on YouTube, so you can send the links to your people and you can send the links to your business partners. Let them grow with you. Sibarikiwe hapa peke yako. So we're here with Joram, and he is the CEO of Sandbox. Now, very interesting. Sandbox is a company that houses around 35 companies. Don't you want to start such a business? Don't you want to be helped by such a company? So we are having this conversation and we're getting to learn a lot. In fact, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
Now, very many people say that companies don't last for 3 years. In the first 3 years, you're gone. And you said you started business right after campus,
yes,
around 2004.
Yes.
Say that. So that means you've been in business for a very long time. So what would you say is the tip ya kukaa kwa hii biashara? Because people wanamwanga, let me just go get employed. Business is not easy. Yeah. So what's the tip?
I think maybe the most important thing for people running businesses is just having resilience, because there are so many things that can happen in the journey of trying to build your business that are very unpredictable. Some may have, to do with the business itself. Others may be outside the business. And what we have seen, because we also work with a lot of entrepreneurs, is that those who are able to keep finding answers to the challenges that they come across. Like myself, since 2004, we are almost headed to 20 years of both businesses running. And so during that time, I think in 2007, I remember we had post-election violence, so we had some challenges. In 2012, I think we had another election, and we had some challenges. And if you go to 2017, so
Corona
through all
period.
these, then after that we had COVID and another election. So they're just, if you don't learn to build the muscle to weather the challenges that come with each of these, because you'd probably find that at every point we have to rethink how the business is running, do some restructuring, cut some costs here and there, invest in a new product or service, away from something that's not working. So to be consistent in that journey, you just have to be very resilient. Every time you meet a challenge, you're just being innovative. You're being resourceful. It's not always about money. On just how to address those challenges. And that's what gives you continuity. And then over time, because you're consistent, people have seen you've been in the market for a long time. They know this is somebody we can trust. The brand grows.
The brand,
And so you find it's potentially gets easier down the line to attract more business because people know you've been there for a long time. Also, maybe customers you started with earlier grow and start to buy more and more from you. So you'd find you're growing in many different directions.
Okay. So apart from what you've said, that you can maintain your company for a very long time, so that even your clients will be able to just trust in you and work with you long term. What are some of the other ways that a company can maintain their clients?
I think quality of product or service is something else that you cannot cut corners on, because people come to you because of a predictable quality or predictable service that they'll always get from you, and they know that we can always trust this person. And so it's something to look into to ensure that you've built systems, processes in the back of your business that are always ensuring you have good quality that's going out. Even if you recruit people and you're not necessarily the one who's interfacing with the customer down the line, how do you ensure that the people who come in have those kinds of processes that can allow them to do just as good a job as you would? How do you continuously train your people so that they're also always getting better and better? They're not just stuck where they came in. And so definitely keep looking into the quality of your products. I think down the line also you need to innovate quite a bit. Sometimes you start with something and then you get a lot of competitors and you find that market disappears. So you have to think about something to take you forward. So you always have to be on your feet, thinking about which new area to go into or which next area to go into. That keeps you relevant over time.
Okay. Do you have a team that does that? Because I'm feeling, now that you've said it gets so concentrated and very many people are offering that, very many businesses are facing that challenge because you started with something and it was very good at that time, and then 2 years down the line, kila mtu anafanya hivyo. So do you have a team that just helps you with the creativity, innovation and such?
I think it's something that has to be across the entire business. I don't think it's necessarily the responsibility of one person. So you'll find companies that have maybe an innovation manager or head of innovation or something. But I think it's something that right from the CEO to all the team members, it's something that we have to be constantly thinking about. When we see a competitor who's replicating the same thing that we're doing, how do we respond to that? There are things we then do as a team in the background that makes our service continue to stand out and be superior to anyone else who may be trying to copy us. Or occasionally you'll have people traveling or doing things out there and they come back with a good idea. They're like, somebody, I saw these people do this in South Africa, or people do this in DRC or something, and it could be an idea that when you adopt into your own business, again makes you stand out, and your competitors now just have to keep up with you. So you find the best businesses don't go to sleep. They're always thinking about the next step and how to keep themselves relevant.
Wow, okay. Let's talk about the employees. How do you know who you're supposed to bring in your company? Because I understand that you would be having a very good vision, a very good where you see your company in 10, 15 years. But now the people you're working with, they're either going to break you or make the company grow. So how do you just know who you're supposed to work with as an employee, and how do you make sure that they understand and hold on the vision very well?
I would actually say the first step to getting great people to work with you is first understanding yourself as a business person and what you're good at, but also more importantly what you're not good at, because I think the people you bring on board should be complementary to particularly what you're not good at, because what you're good at you can do, what you're not good at you can get other people to look into it. And so if you're that great visionary, you probably need very good implementers to work alongside you and that kind of thing. And so I think it's very important to first understand that. But second, also try and get people who are aligned to your way of working, your values, people who are probably as excited about what you're doing as you are yourself. And then that vision needs to be communicated, because when it's just in your head, people may be wondering, where are we going? But if you're constantly communicating where it is that you're going, then people are also very clear and they can see there's a future for them in the business, and they'll also work hard to make it happen.
Okay, to get there.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how do you market yourself as Sandbox? You've talked about marketing. You've mentioned that as a business, you must make sure that people know you, people know your brand. So as Sandbox, how do you market yourself? How do you put yourself out there?
Yeah, so there are many different ways we do that. So, of course, nowadays digital marketing is a very big thing. We're on the different platforms where people are, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and the like, and the X. We are always, putting out our programs, putting out, different things that we are doing, whether it's events or the like. So that gets people in the online space getting to know about us. Outside of that, there are probably spaces we get invited to, whether it's to give a talk or to be part of an event that's happening somewhere. So we might have a booth that has our materials that people can get to know more about. Or we partner with organizations that have entrepreneurs, like banks or associations, and we do joint things with them where it's a cost-sponsored event, so the people in those spaces will get to know about us. But also remember, we have the 34 experts. They're also out marketing themselves, and therefore they're also marketing the Sandbox by extension. And so we have a lot of people getting to know about us in different spaces.
Okay, amazing. I love what you said, that the 34 people, as they market themselves, they're marketing you as well, right? Now let's talk about people who are trying to build their brands as an SME or an MSME. I would love to make my brand known. And nikikuja hapa Sandbox with my small company or my big company, but then I haven't packaged myself so well, I just want to see how you guys have packaged yourself. And definitely, as a brand, you have done so well. Now, from you to a small business or just any business, how do you just brand yourself or package yourself very well?
Okay. First, I would say maybe as a small business, you might think you don't have the resources, the expertise and the like. So the first, marketer and salesperson for the business is the entrepreneur themselves. I think there's a lot of people running business out there, but they don't talk about it wherever they go. They don't, let people know what they're doing. They don't talk about it in their online platforms and the like. So I would always say the first place is just what you have control over. You have your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page and the like. Can you talk about your business in those spaces? Put out what you do. As a starting point. But then when you get to the place where you can put some resources together, work with somebody to create a good-looking brand in terms of design and that kind of thing, help you craft a good message for your business or a good story, and then now you're able to put that out in different spaces. So I think you could start with a very simple, where it's you marketing the business and doing everything possible to just push it out. But over time, you're able to find other channels. Maybe you get interviewed in a TV station, and all those are channels that help you market. Maybe your story is told in the newspaper or in a magazine. Again, maybe you're invited to tell your story in church or those kinds of places. All those are brand building opportunities. And so you take each and every one of those opportunities to say what it is that you do, explain to people the kind of value they can get from you. And then it will grow over time, and when it becomes a big brand, then it takes a life of its own. People talk about you in different places where you're not even present, and then you find people coming to buy from you.
Wow. Package your brands very well. Anza kuambia watu kenye unafanya WhatsApp. Tupostie status mpaka tuanze kujam, but we'll just know about it eventually, right? Now, time is all together with us, unfortunately, but we have learned really a lot. So what would be your parting shot? What would you tell? What would be your words to the SMEs?
I think for the people out there, they've already taken a risk to think and start a business. So it's just putting a lot of effort into ensuring they have a good quality product or good quality service. if they have people, to make sure they get the best people they can get to help them grow their business. Of course, to look into every way of putting their business out so that people get to know what they're doing and to be able to buy from them. And then when you've done everything possible, it's just never to settle, always to have a mindset of I can get better, I can learn, and I can improve. There's people like ourselves who can always help and add to what it is that you're already doing that helps you get to the next level. So also don't be afraid to get help when things have become a bit difficult or you're in a space you don't understand. There are people who can help you in your business.
Wow. So if you have a business out there, na feel ni kama you umechoka, business is not working, today we are bringing you a solution. We have people who can listen to you. We have people who can just try and find out what exactly is the problem and how can you go about it. We have 35 companies, 34 companies up, so they can just get to help you and work with you until your business is big enough. So here we don't give up on businesses. We say business is more than meets the eye. So thank you so much for being with us on this episode, and we're all looking forward to seeing businesses growing even as you grow as Sandbox, right?
Yes.
So this has been the Business Plus. We've been live on Facebook, we've been live on YouTube as well, MBCI TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Rachel Kahugu. We'll be seeing you next week, same time, on another episode. Bye.